Has anybody else noticed that the job of social media influencer has become code for online salesmen? I feel like it didn't used to be like that. It felt like there was kind of a handful of people doing very little for a lot of money, and now it feels like there's a lot of people doing a lot for a little money.
Yeah, I completely agree, Gabby. There's just too many people in this world promoting things, selling things, and just thriving off this capitalist hellscape that we live in. It just reminds me of all those times that people have promoted makeup brushes. Am I right?
Hey guys, I'm here with Gabby, and today, as I said just now, we're going to be doing an interview.
Oh god, let's never, ever take a look at that again. That feels like a fever dream that video even exists. And let's never speak about that, because today we are actually speaking about a thing that I noticed on Gabbie Hanna's TikTok recently, of where she claims that she is now a retired social media influencer. She's done with social media, she's quit for, I guess, music and other media ventures that fallen off influencers seem to like to follow. And likewise, I will be releasing my EP coming soon. I will only release it if this video gets 100,000 likes, so you know what to do. But other than releasing music, I don't think I'll be following Gabbie Hanna's other career paths after YouTube, because it now seems that she has gone down the arc of giving out mental health advice. I know it seems like a little strange thing that Gabbie Hanna, of all people, is giving out. Just watch this, my little beautiful dumplings.
Listen up! This advice is about to change your life! I have the ick. This tip is not just for overcoming depression. This is gonna get you excited to wake up every day. It's 10:30, I just got up. Neither here nor there!
I feel like my favorite part about this TikTok is, Gabby's woken up at 10:30 AM and she's like, I'm loving life, guys. I'm loving it. It's great. It's 10:30 AM and I've just woken up and I'm feeling fresh. And Gabby, that's wonderful. I'm happy for you. But the regular average adult who has to pay bills and live their life has probably been awake for around 4 hours at this point, because a lot of people, when they get past the age of 18, have to wake up at 6 AM to go work their job. And Gabby, just like me, you are an influencer. We are practically paid to be unemployed. We can wake up at 10:30 AM and not do anything for an entire day, but that's not a normal human thing. Most human beings actually have commitments that they need to go and do, and if they don't do those commitments, they're probably not going to have a house to live in, or a flat, or an apartment. Whatever you say, you weird Americans. But yeah, I just love this thing, and I've decided to call this influencer syndrome. Influencers really not understanding the day-to-day gripes of, well, real life.
This tip is not just for overcoming depression. This is gonna get you excited to wake up every day.
So yes, Gabbie Hanna has retired and she has decided to become a mental health advice giver on TikTok. This is basically the equivalent of if James Charles quit social media and decided to start giving advice to parents on how to bring up their kids. It just wouldn't make much sense, would it?
You gotta get a hobby. Better get a hobby! A lot of them. Just one at a time, but in your head, if you have so many hobbies that you're excited about.
Please just comment down below if you think that this TikTok, I know you've been depressed for like a very long time, but just comment down below, yes, if you think this TikTok is going to solve your depression, or comment beans if you think, yeah, probably not. No.
Do you ever scroll TikTok and go, I want to do that? I just saw a guy make a rug. He just made it. That's awesome. He just has like a little rug studio. I think it was in his house. I want to set up a little rug making studio in my house. That is sick. I want to write murder mystery novels because I'm really, really paranoid. And the scenarios that I come up with in my brain are bestsellers. Timeless classics. How can I possibly be sad when I haven't even started my Nancy Drew era yet? How can I be sad when I've never made a rug yet? I haven't started crafting jewelry yet.
I don't want to sound rude, but this just kind of seems like, you know, when you're like feeling really bad and you're like, I'm gonna fake it until I make it, and you just make yourself even more sad. I don't want to speculate, but just based on what I'm hearing here, I say I don't want to speculate, and then I just go on to speculate. But based on what I'm seeing here, you don't seem that happy, Gab, and that's fine. You know, that's perfectly valid. But you're not selling me on this, but alas, I'll let her continue.
Have not tried any water sports, and I sure as never will, but you might want to. You're sitting there depressed. You've never gotten on a jet ski, and you want to? You got nothing to live for? You've never jumped out of a plane? I'm not gonna do it. You might want to do that.
Gabbie, I don't have any money. Okay, I have some, but I don't have enough to buy a jet ski. Like, this isn't valid advice, this entire TikTok. And I don't want to sound very invalidating here. If this is helping Gabster in her life, congratulations, my friend. You are rich. But, you know, a lot of people in this world aren't rich. This is the equivalent of where Jordan Peterson is like, tidy your bedroom, man, tidy your bedroom, because that's the first step and that'll make you feel better. And you tidy your bedroom and you're like, oh, I still feel like shit. Great. 9 times out of 10, these things that are being explained, maybe you will feel a little bit better, but for the most part, it's probably not going to solve your depression, because if it did, I feel like everyone in the world would be doing these things to solve their depression. Depression is an extremely complicated thing, and it's more of a case-by-case study. A lot of people have worse forms of it, some people have not as bad forms of it, but ultimately, these things which a lot of influencers like to be like, this is going to solve your depression, this is going to make your days feel so much better, this is going to make you want to wake up in the morning, it's probably not going to. It's probably going to come off as extremely tone deaf. And now, I don't think that Gabbie comes into this with a malicious intent here. I just think it's more of the whole thing of influencer syndrome. An influencer who clearly doesn't understand that they are rich and in an extremely privileged position. And influencers get very upset when somebody says that they're privileged. It's fine, man. I acknowledge you worked hard, but you need to accept that you waking up at 10:30 a.m. and being able to go onto a jet ski is a very privileged thing. The advice of healing depression, going jet skiing, parasailing, and jumping out of a plane. Ah yes, let me go tell my boss that I'm not coming into work today because I want to go jet skiing. I'm sure that that's not going to go down badly at all. In my last job that I actually had before YouTube, if I turned up a minute late to work, I would almost get a threat of being fired every single time I was a minute late to my job. Even if I turned up 15 minutes early, I'd get a little note being like, hey man, you should probably turn up 20 minutes early so you can get yourself prepared. I'm not being paid for that 20 minutes, but they've got the balls to threaten me. So I don't think anybody in a job has the privileged opportunity to go out and do these things that Gabbie is saying when they work 12 hours a day. And people will be like, well, they've still got some time in their day. Yes, they do, but obviously they don't have the energy or resources to then take that time and go out and do whatever, because in those hours outside of work, they actually have to sleep. They have to, you know, do their other commitments like feeding themselves, possibly feeding their children or other family members. Life isn't easy for a lot of people, and I think a lot of influencers really don't understand that. But before we go any further into this, I do just want to say, hey, I understand that this is really annoying, and there's probably going to be some people commenting below being like, oh god, he's making us subscribers on YouTube.com. It's almost like it's the entire thing. It's the thing that actually makes you bigger. Subscribe. Just do it. If you don't subscribe, I won't release my EP. You think there's an EP coming. There isn't, but there could if you get me to 1 million subs. And it will just be me screaming into a microphone about, I don't know, influence. I don't know what it would be, but please subscribe. I'm trying to hit more million subscribers and I'd very much appreciate it. And also, only 17% of people on this channel have notifications turned on. And I know that this gets said a lot, but that's actually quite a low number. So please just go below and click the little notification bell, turn it on, and then watch the rest of my videos. Thank you very much. But let's continue into the whole topic of influencer syndrome. And I just realized that I have just invented another medical diagnosis here. And what's that? 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, Trisha Paytas has now just announced she's also got it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
But no, seriously, it is a little bit fascinating that a lot of influencers genuinely don't understand that not everybody can wake up at 10 a.m. in the morning, and also when they have spare time, they don't really want to be spending it doing things like jet skiing. A lot of people may just want to relax and chill out because they've had such a grating day at work. I feel like a lot of people don't understand is it's really not as easy as just saying to do something. Would love to get a hobby, but unfortunately I've got my bills and have to work 16 hours a day, which, you know, is a perfectly valid response. They're not being horrible, they're not being nasty, they're just giving their actual perspective on life that they have and their day-to-day things that happen to them. And how does Gabbie respond to this? Well, like this. Damn, sis, you've got time to watch and comment on TikToks, but you can't learn an instrument or how to knit? You're a sad sack of shit, aren't you? She didn't say that, I need to clarify, but it does kind of come off like that. That's a you choice, my friend. Gabbie, when I'm on TikTok, I'm most likely sat on the toilet, squeezing out a big sweaty poo. That's what I'm doing. I'm not dedicating my life to this. I am scrolling through TikTok whilst a dump goes into the toilet, floats around a little bit, and I'm looking at the same 5,000 TikTokers use the same 5,000 sounds thousands and thousands of times, and I'm looking at it thinking, this is a little bit cringe, but, you know, it stimulates my brain for 5 seconds, and that's great. And that's the thing. 5 seconds. That doesn't really reflect the rest of my day. And I guarantee you, Gabbie, not everybody has social media addictions like me and you. A lot of people go onto TikTok for a few minutes a day to scroll through it whilst they're just chilling, and that's that. It's not a hobby. It's just a thing of they pick it up for about a minute and boom, it's done. It's not the equivalent of picking up a new hobby which takes 10,000 hours to master. You should probably take into context that somebody who works 10 hours a day whilst dealing with depression may not have the mental energy to then go from that 10-hour shift to spending hours on a new hobby, and they may just want to scroll through TikTok for a few minutes. I've never really liked the rebuttal of, oh, you have these hobbies when you could be spending them doing some more productive thing. It's like, no, I just want to relax for 5 minutes, and maybe scrolling through TikTok is that relaxation thing. And I just think it's a terrible rebuttal. And other people were basically commenting just saying, I have a job. And how did Gabbie respond? She said, me too, since I was 13, but I've always had hobbies. Stop limiting yourself. Okay, this may be a little bit deep here, but I've just kind of realized, I've had like a realization whilst recording this video. Gabbie says that she's had hobbies since she was 13 whilst holding up 2 jobs, and this may be a little bit edgy, but like, you have depression, you've admitted it, whilst always having hobbies. So it's like, I'm glad that you're now conquering your depression, that's great. But like you've said, you've had mental health struggles whilst having hobbies. Isn't that evidence that holding a hobby or starting new hobbies isn't going to fix things? Because you yourself have literally had to deal with those terrible times whilst having hobbies and a job. It shows that there isn't a solution of just getting a hobby. You can have a hobby while still being depressed. And Gabster, I'm sorry, I don't want to say that influencers don't work hard, because we do. We do work hard. And we do put a lot of effort into our craft, and I definitely don't doubt that Gabbie puts a lot of work into her music, especially after quitting YouTube. But one thing that you have to acknowledge is that our jobs are easier based on the fact that we can afford to take months off, weeks off, even just a day off, whereas a lot of people in employment can't do that. They can't just take time off to work on a new project, to work on an EP, to work on a new hobby that they may want to master, because I'm sure a lot of people out there do want to master a new hobby, but they just can't because of their dedication to their job, because if they don't do that job, they will end up being homeless. That's just a sad reality of the world that we live in. Most people can't just go and say, hey, I'm going to wake up at 10:30 a.m. today because I don't feel like working, and I'm just going to dedicate an entire month to, I don't know, a new hobby, a new fitness regime. The sad reality is that most people can't do that. But with the whole conversation of privilege, Gabbie got really upset at this. Like, so upset where I'm thinking, come on, you need to relax. Like, for somebody that makes their whole personality smoking weed, you seem to not be very relaxed. I mean, they uploaded a response TikTok with the description of, tired of people mistaking privilege with hard work and determination. Nobody said that. Nobody has said that you haven't worked hard, but ultimately you need to understand whether you worked hard for it or not. When you're very rich and can afford to take days or months off focusing on a music EP, you are in a privileged position. You're in a position that most people in their lives don't have. Not everyone who's successful is privileged. I could have easily stayed in the system. I chose to leave the corporate world and pave my path. You can too, if ya want to. I mean, what? Gabbie, you've worked hard, and I don't doubt that. But ultimately, we do need to also admit, as an influencer, you get lucky. There are plenty of content creators out there who are better content creators than me, but they have not had the luck in the algorithm. They have not had that luck of where they got that one video which banged and allowed all their other videos to bang and it becomes a full-time career. There are probably some creators out there better than Mr. Beast, better than any top content creator, but they've just not had that luck in the algorithm. Most of social media does just come down to luck, and I think we need to admit that. It's not easy to leave the corporate world. Yes, you can do it, but a lot of it comes down to, yes, hard work, but ultimately luck. But alas, let's take a look to what Gabbie actually had to say in this old TikTok.
I'm choosing to respond to this comment instead of one of the comments saying that I'm privileged for telling people to raise their quality of life, that they should pick up a hobby or follow their passions. Because exactly this. First of all, you don't have to have money to have a hobby. A lot of hobbies don't require a lot up front. A lot of supplies are really cheap. Pencils, pens, and paper are cheap. Paint, like literally $1 a bottle paint. That's what I still paint with now. There's a ton of shit you can find at thrift stores, discount stores, you can thrift flip, or if you really can't afford anything, you can find something that costs literally $0. That's the beauty of creativity.
Now, she's not wrong in what she says here. There are a lot of hobbies out there that you can start without any money, but ultimately, most hobbies, in fact, really are benefited by having money, and it will make it a struggle to start most hobbies without money. Even things like bird watching, for example. Like, yeah, you can go outside and look at birds, but ultimately it would be way easier if you had the money to buy some nice old binoculars or something. Most things in life would be improved if you had some form of financial backing. And because of this difficulty, a lot of depressed people out there just aren't willing or just don't want to have to deal with the struggle of starting something which would be way easier if they had some form of financial backing.
When it comes to people saying, well, I have a job, I don't have time for that, you're commenting on TikTok. Get it the together. Stop making excuses for your miserable lifestyle and create a good lifestyle.
Oh, it's so tone deaf. It's like unbelievably tone deaf to a point of like, oh my god, did you not play this back when you uploaded this? Like, bro, scrolling through TikTok for 5 minutes and removing that time isn't going to change my life. This is the equivalent of those financial advice pages of where like, yo, you should stop buying Starbucks, man, because if you, like took that $5 a day and put it into a trust fund, by like 2064, you'll actually have $10,000 and you can use that for some investments, bro. It's like, okay, but what if I want the Starbucks? Because maybe that Starbucks makes my day-to-day life a little less shitty. And maybe me scrolling through TikTok for 5 minutes in my day makes me feel a little less shittier to get some free entertaining content for a few minutes. Maybe whilst I'm on my break from my mind-numbing job, I can have a laugh whilst watching TikTok. I don't think that cutting things like TikTok or, I don't know, the financial advice of cutting out Starbucks is really going to impact your life that much. Because the thing is, Gabbie, I have hobbies and I still use TikTok for hours a day. It really doesn't affect you the amount you think it does. And I think this is just very generic advice, which really isn't that valuable.
If you choose to spend your spare time scrolling on TikTok, commenting on other people's life when they're giving you advice to live the life that you want to live, which is apparently I don't work and I have unlimited time and funds to do all my hobbies. Okay, do you want that life? Then follow my advice. Rule 1 is following your passion and making the first step. Rule 2 is get your ass off of TikTok in your spare time, or don't. That's perfectly fine, because guess what? Scrolling TikTok is a perfectly acceptable hobby, but don't get mad at somebody else for trying to encourage you to follow your dreams because you don't have the balls or drive to do it.
I don't even have a joke to make. This is just so bad. It's so bad. I love that she's like, yo, if you're scrolling through TikTok, that's fine, man. Like, that's an acceptable hobby. But also, if you're scrolling through TikTok, get your fucking act together, you miserable sack of shit. Get the drive. You don't have the drive that I have. Gabbie, you uploaded a few Vines in 2014, which did well in the algorithm. That's really it. And like, yeah, you've worked hard after that, but you're forgetting the luck aspect. Not every person on this planet can become an influencer, because if they could, everybody would. And I'm not saying it's this big skill-based thing. I'm saying it's a big luck-based thing. As I said previously, you know, a lot of content creators out there are absolutely fantastic. I follow some YouTubers with like 20k subs and I'm like, how do you not have millions? But ultimately, the luck of the algorithm has not found them like it found me and like it specifically found you. I think this advice is almost dangerous. It's almost dangerous to say to somebody who's living a life of where they are struggling financially to just drop everything and follow their hobbies. Because that's what you're seemingly doing here. You're basically being like, yeah, you know, just get some drive, man. Drop what you're doing and go and, I don't know, upload some Vines. It just doesn't seem financially viable for somebody who works a 9-to-5 and is in crippling debt. It just doesn't seem very viable.
How many years I went without watching TV? I just started using TikTok again recently. What the do you think I've been doing for the past year? I think I've been doing nothing in my house for a year while I wasn't posting TikToks or YouTube videos? No, I was working on the shit I'm passionate about. I gave up the thing that wasn't fulfilling me and I worked on the shit that is, and now I'm back.
Please comment down below if you yourself have something that you're very passionate in and you would absolutely love a career based around that passion, but you just can't do it because of the constraints of life surrounding you. That's nothing to be ashamed of, but just comment down, I don't know, comment down beans if you're in that category, because that's nothing to be ashamed about. That's perfectly fine. And don't let a TikTok like this shame you for being in that part of life, because this is a part of life that most people go through and it's completely fine. Not everybody can become an athlete. Not everybody can become a musician because of the unprivileged positions they're in. Gabbie worked hard, but she is in a privileged position, and I really don't think that she acknowledges that.
Because now I can find the healthy balance, and now I get to share those things with you guys. So for everybody being pussy hurt in the comments of my video trying to inspire you to pick up a hobby, don't pick up a hobby. Don't take my advice.
I mean, I would really love to know, what are your thoughts on depressed people with hobbies? Because, like, I know a lot of people with depression have so many hobbies. I know so many influencers that are depressed and have so many things going on in their lives in terms of hobbies. They're still depressed, Gabbie. So What's the solution after that? Because I'd love to know. I do understand to an extent of what Gabbie is saying in this. And as I said earlier, I don't necessarily think that she is being malicious here, but I do believe that she is conveying her message in such an obnoxious way. And I genuinely don't even understand why, because the comments weren't even trying to be rude. And in fact, it was just people trying to help Gabbie understand their perspective in life. They weren't clowning on Gabbie, they were just voicing their personal experiences. Gabbie keeps mentioning the whole thing of privilege and how she's not privileged and how she's just worked hard. Gabbie, you are 31 years of age and you are a retired social media influencer. You have been able to retire and quit at 31 years old and then go and focus on music for the rest of your life. If you don't think that isn't privileged, then I would really love to know what your definition of privileged actually is. There are so many different forms of privilege in this world, and you are part of the social media privilege. To conclude this video, Gabbie retiring from social media isn't really a developing story. In fact, I did a second channel video about it 5 months ago. We've known about this for a while, but it is interesting that this is how she decides to spend her days. I do find it entertaining that she is insistent on shitting on people who enjoy using TikTok for 5 minutes per day, while she uploads videos every single day on TikTok, giving stories about how she is now a superhero who is stuck in the Matrix.
I'm a time traveler, or I have superpowers that allow me to literally shapeshift and create my own reality. I've gone over the idea that I might actually be dead and living in an alternate universe, and this is the one that I've created sort of in like, maybe I'm in like a pod, like this is the part of the simulation where simulation where you kind of like choose your own adventure, and I had chosen my own adventure.
It's an intriguing way to spend your day, especially whilst you shame others for doing the exact same thing, but I completely value this, Gabbie. I completely value that you like to use TikTok, and I would never belittle anybody for using TikTok. Actually, no, that's a lie. It's a horrible app. It's a terrible, terrible app of where you scroll through it and it's just the same sound and everything is the same and it just never stops. It's a cycle of shit. It is, and I'm sorry to sound like a boomer, but we should all stop using TikTok and actually start producing attention spans again, because half the people watching this video probably didn't get past the 8-minute mark and are probably watching it in segments because TikTok has ruined all of our attention spans. I'm going to say this video... Wait, no. I'm going to end this video by saying Gabbie is right. TikTok is bad and we should all stop using it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for coming along. Please like this video and comment beans down below. If you don't, then we're going to have a serious problem. Follow my second channel. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. And don't follow me on TikTok. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a lovely day. Take it easy. And peace out. Bye.